Yo, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful New Year's break. We are back. 2025 is already getting hot and interesting with more RosterMania action. We are less than 2 weeks till we get into the start of the next season of professional Counter-Strike. We have the first Blast Bounty coming up, and that means we are running out of time for teams to make major moves to be in a position to try and win some trophies coming up in the new year. And today we got word about some exciting moves. First off, Eternal Fire have benched Calyx and acquired Yotta from Songal, a huge firepower upgrade for the Turkish core, and then Fnatic finally appeared to be trying to build something worthwhile and actually interesting as their IGL Bodyy heads to the bench as rumors tap Fear from Passion UA as his potential replacement. These are very exciting moves, so let's not waste any more time. Make sure you guys take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm. And before we get started, I would like to thank today's sponsor. That's right, this video is sponsored by SkinClub. They are one of the most popular case opening sites in Counter-Strike with over 100 custom cases backed by its provably fair system, meaning that as long as you are not me, you have a fair shot at unboxing something awesome.
Nice.
But it's not just regular unboxings. You can compete in case opening battles with other users, the boys in between that next Us 2 match, or privately with bots where you can either team up 2v2 to split the winnings, or try your luck to win the entire pot if you hit the best item. Or, if risk scares you, and it does for me, you can toggle sharing mode to split the winnings evenly amongst the group. But that's not all. SkinClub runs monthly events for you to win unique prizes, free daily cases for a little extra cheddar on top, and if you don't like the skins you hit, you can always try a little cheeky upgrade to find something you do like. If you want to play on SkinClub, you can click the top link in the description for a 7% deposit bonus and top off your account with credit card, crypto, or even deposit skins directly from your inventory. Lastly, please don't gamble if you are under 18, live in a country or jurisdiction that restricts gambling, and most importantly, don't gamble to make money. Play for fun with money you are okay to lose. Gambling addiction is very real, and if you or a loved one are having problems in the US or Canada, you can reach out to this hotline, 1-800-GAMBLER, toll-free to get help. Addiction is an illness, and I want you to be healthy and safe. Thank you to SkinClub for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get back to it. Alright, so let's start off with the more definitive move, the one that we already know is for sure happening, and that's Yotta going to Eternal Fire to replace Calyx. Now, on the surface, I think this is just a straight upgrade. Yotta is an exciting Turkish rifler. He was incredible for Songal during their time at the major RMRs. He was the best player on that team, and he looked quite excellent for being a tier 2 player. His eye test was incredibly strong, he had good decision making, great mechanics, and the impact was felt within the server. And while Songal did not have much success at the RMRs, it was definitely not because of any lack of effort on his part. xFloud was also a great piece on the team as well, and if you've been on the channel for a while and you remember my recaps from that period of time, I was saying even back then that both of these players should be on the short list for changes for Eternal Fire. Eternal Fire are determined to be a Turkish organization, which I highly respect, but the problem is that Turkey has not produced much great tier 1 talent. You have jottAAA, who just broke into the top 20 this year, you have Hooxie, who has historically been a great top 20 player and one of the better operators in the world, but they have lacked true superstar potential outside of jottAAA himself. And the reality is that window could be closing soon. jottAAA has been absolutely out of his mind to start CS2, but he is 29 years old. There is going to be a drop-off on the horizon. His window to win championships is closing, so if Eternal Fire are going to do something, now is the best time to do so. While jottAAA is at the peak of his powers, while Bubblesj is still incredibly good, while they can run a great core around Major in terms of their calling, they need to build a winning roster. And with Wakadia kind of turning the corner at the end of this year, the piece that was lacking the most was Calyx. So getting a straight upgrade for his roles is absolutely an incredible move for the organization. And by the way, I don't use straight upgrade lightly, courtesy of Nero on Twitter who pointed this out, but Yotta and Calyx play the exact same roles. So in terms of Eternal Fire's structure, nothing has to change. They are just exchanging Calyx for a player who is averaging well above his stats and is doing it consistently. So ultimately, while you can't project the future and only a Sith speaks in absolutes, this is about as close to an absolute home run of a trade as you will see in esports. In terms of what Eternal Fire are going to get out of this, in terms of Yotta getting an opportunity, this is a home run move. Moving on to our next RosterMania story, Fnatic have decided to make some big changes going into the new season, the first step of which is Bodyy, their in-game leader, is heading to the bench. Now Fnatic are a train wreck. They are one of the most storied, legacy, winningest organizations in Counter-Strike and the whole of esports, and they've been languishing for years and years and years. It's been a slow but steady slip into mediocrity ever since olofmeister left this team for FaZe, and they've done really nothing at all to try and move the needle in that regard. Middling ho-hum roster move after ho-hum roster move, they did not capitalize on Broland whatsoever. They refused to build new cores with exciting young players. They have held on to legacy players like Crims for far too long. And it's an absolute travesty for what an organization like Fnatic represents, much like a NIP, much like a Cloud9. These are organizations that should be massive forces within the scene, and they just refuse to make competent roster moves at any single point, making being a fan of these teams an absolute nightmare. So, when Astralis self-destructed early last year and Fnatic picked up BlameF, I was actually excited that they might be able to do something with him. I was really worried that BlameF was just kinda copping out by taking this move, as BlameF, I'm sorry, is a top 20 player. He has top 20 player stats this year, and the only reason he's not gonna be in the HLTV top 20 is because Fnatic did fuck all with it. And no, I will not entertain the Reddit tier analysis that is the BaitF narrative. Not only is it not backed up statistically, because if BlameF was as bad as you guys make him out to be, the adjustment in rating 2.0 to rating 2.1 would have reflected that like it did for players like Jame. The reality is that BlameF has augmented his game in Fnatic. He is entering more, he is more aggressive, and guess what? His stats have not declined in a significant way because of that. Anyways, getting off track. The point is that BlameF is an excellent piece to build around if you're a Fnatic. They just really weren't able to do so during this last season. They have Knock on loan from Bleed, and of course Bodyy was the in-game leader, and Body's now heading to the bench. And listen, he's a good in-game leader, he's not great. I just don't really think he has that kind of potential to be a tournament winning in-game leader, which is what you would want to put around BlameF ideally in the first place. So the question then begs, who is going to replace Bodyy? And while initially I was going to speculate on some names I would like to see, while I was getting everything done for this video, there was yet more reporting which has so far indicated that Fear from Passion UA is rumored to join Fnatic. Now, I actually do like this move. It has some risk, but I think that Fear, as a young in-game leader, has a lot of potential upside. I think we can all agree that what he did with Passion at the Major was quite remarkable for a team that had previously never played significant LANs at all. To go against some of the best teams in the world and succeed in the way they did was a really cool achievement. And I do have to commend that Fear's calling, his leadership, was exemplary throughout that endeavor. He looked like someone who was very calm under pressure, someone who knew how to make good, smart, mid-round calls and play around what was happening to him in the server. It doesn't seem like he calls an overly strict system, he's pretty loose, he's pretty willing to adapt to his players. He also seems like he's not even that bad of an individual as well. He was fragging out in some of these games for Passion to keep them alive. Now, it's certainly a risk because he's a young, unproven in-game leader. Fnatic are going to be in a ton of tournaments playing some of the best competition in the world, so will he be able to adapt to that level and work with the pieces given to him? That remains to be seen. Admittedly, he would not have been my first choice for Fnatic to hunt down, and I know that it's kind of just a joke at this point, but in terms of in-game leaders, I am surprised that Fnatic did not see about getting Hooxie first. Hooxie, love him or hate him, has proven he can operate at the tier 1 of Counter-Strike. He can get you to a winning formula. Is he going to cap out your team at the highest possible level? Probably not, but he's going to do a damn good job of getting you somewhere good in the first place. He is someone who's going to self-sacrifice his game to enable your star players and give opportunities for them to succeed. And honestly, if you're a team trying to break into the top 10, it's really hard to imagine a better fit than Hooxie when you consider how many free agent in-game leaders are even available in the first place. He has tenure, he has experience, and you know that he's available and willing to work, so he would have been my first guess for rebuilding Fnatic. Again, not to downplay Fear, I think he would do well. I'm just surprised Hooxie is still a free agent. There's plenty of teams who need in-game leaders, and he's right there. I just don't think his stock is that low. I can't really imagine why he hasn't been picked up yet, but maybe that's a topic for another time. I think this is a great step forward for Fnatic to move on from Bodyy, bring in Fear, and see what they can do going into the next year. However, obviously there's still a lot to be done about the roster. First things first, man, Crims, I'll keep on saying it, Crims has got to retire. You need a second star next to BlameF. You're probably not going to be able to pick up another Oppers, or you're stuck with Knock. You're bringing in Fear. Like, Matties is a young developing player. We don't know where he's going to go. Crims is just... he's just there. Like, he's not terrible, but he's not going to get better. He's not going to get back to his peak. He's only going to continue to regress, and he's old. He's just a legacy of a bygone era, and Fnatic keep holding on to him as some remembrance of the good old days. But at a certain point, man, just move on. At this point, if Crims wants to keep playing pro Counter-Strike, good for him. Do it on a different team. Do it on a tier 2 team. Develop the next generation of talent. Do something that's going to be consummate to your level of play. Stop dragging down, again, one of the most important and relevant organizations in esports from being able to rebuild into something more credible. He needs to step away from this team. That's about all I got in terms of today's RosterMania roundup. Let me know what you guys think about these moves in the comments down below. Are there players or teams that you're still looking forward to making moves before the Blast bounty comes up? Are there any moves I haven't reacted to yet that you would like me to make a video about? Let me know. I'll be down there responding as always. Thank you to SkinClub for sponsoring this video. Top link in the description gives you a 7% deposit bonus when you fill up. Please make sure you gamble responsibly. You're over 18 and you're in a country or jurisdiction that allows it. Be safe. Do not gamble to make money. Gamble with a little bit of money to have some fun. Or you could put that money towards becoming a channel member. For $5 a month, you can support me directly, get your name at the end of these videos, get a special role in my Discord, just like these fine individuals: Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, Milan Berta, and Dr. Cocktor, as well as our newest channel member, Patates Köftesi. Thank you to all of them, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in another video. Peace.